What's this? What's this? A Nightmare Before Christmas review. Hello, kids. Welcome to Held Captive Media. And we're here and we're getting festive, but we're also getting a little creepy because that's generally how we are, I think. I mean, at least most of the time, anyway. We're a little...
The thing that everybody really wants to know, is this one better?
Oh, yeah. Which one's better?
Nah, it's still Logan's.
Yeah! Let's go! Huh, 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 huh. I'm the king of the world. What? Okay,
I
anyway.
hate it here.
This is great. This is exactly what I wanted. This has got to be the only time that's ever happened to me. Anyway,
What are we talking about?
we're talking about A Nightmare Before Christmas. So usually I do a read here, but I'm just gonna tell Nightmare Before Christmas lore for everybody. Listen, this is one of the most merchandised IPs of all time. I mean, it wipes the floor with Invader Zim. It fucking dusts away The Simpsons in relevancy. There is no film longer lasting in pop culture than Nightmare Before Christmas.
And fans that are so desperate for content that they will consider Kingdom Hearts canon.
Yeah, they're so desperate for more, they'll take less.
Yeah.
So Nightmare Before Christmas. Not directed by Tim Burton.
No.
No.
Should be mentioned.
Barely associated with Tim Burton.
Not true. I mean, there are definitely some elements that were brought in from his childhood. The graveyard is based on the graveyard from his childhood.
It
This
was
character,
yeah.
nothing to do with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
No, I know that's true. Yeah.
It was his character designs and semi-concepts, but was he here for this film?
No.
No.
He was
He was
incredibly
filming
busy at the
Batman
time.
too.
Yeah. He was very busy with Batman. And it's ironic because I got to think, is there anything he's more known for than this anymore? I don't think
No.
so.
No.
And it's weird because it's not his film.
Henry
It's Henry
Selick.
Selick.
Thank you for
Shout
making
out.
this film and everybody who worked so hard on it. Like,
Shout
thank
out
you.
to Henry Selick. Wendell and Wild was also great. We'll maybe review that later.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the film. Guys, is there any warning for spoilers? Can we just like talk about it? I feel like people, if you haven't
think-
seen this, what the fuck are we doing?
I have a story for the non-spoiler section.
I also have
Okay.
a story for the non-spoiler
okay,
section.
we can do stories for this. And
I
then
think
we'll
That's
yeah,
a
do
good,
story
oh,
time
good
for
idea.
non-spoiler.
Story time, and then we'll talk about the large
Yeah.
parts of the movie.
I love this movie so much as a child. I don't know if it was the claymation. I don't know if I'm just messed up kid and like spooky stuff. Could be a mixture of all of it. But back in the day when video stores were still around, I didn't own this movie. But every time we go, it didn't matter what time of year it was, I would beg my mom to rent the VHS of The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then eventually she gave in and we bought the film. Eventually.
Because
That's
the
so
rental
cute.
reviews.
Yeah.
She's
We
like, we've
spent
already
so
bought
much
this.
in rentals.
We've
like,
already bought this movie 3 times over. I guess we should just own it.
I'm,
Yeah.
so we
I'm the
stop.
same. I was the same as a kid. Not with this movie, but with tons of movies where it'd be
all
like,
year round. Doesn't matter what time of year. I'm still that way. I'll just turn it on.
yeah,
it's
it's
love
a
it.
classic.
So good.
My first viewing of it was a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in one of those households where they're like, Halloween is not very Christian-y. Nay, nay, nay. The Christians do not align with getting free candy, you fat fuck. And I'm like, damn it. So I didn't really get to enjoy Halloween as much, nor really Christmas for that matter.
Yeah.
So like Christmas was more like time to see my family. I got some gifts, but even like we still went to church at times and it was still fucking boring. So I didn't really enjoy those holidays as much as other people did till later in my life. But I also grew up in a single parent household. So after school care was my jam, baby. And one day around the time of Halloween, the people who were watching us, one of which was accused of stealing from the school, shout out to you, put on a VHS tape for us. That VHS tape was A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I love that. What a great afternoon.
So we basically went in there. All the kids were talking about how they already had seen it. A lot of them were sportsy kids. Were like, "It's a stupid movie. I don't like that movie. It's not at all that good. It's not Air Bud." And I'm just like, "Fuck you, man. I want to see it. I haven't seen this, and I love movies." And I watched it, and I was transported. I just remember seeing it for the first time and having these visceral reactions to like the kookiness of the characters and like having a bit of the fear of the character designs, but enjoying that of it, like enjoying the fact that they were uncomfortable to look at in a way. And I really, it totally enveloped me in this feeling that I still have the nostalgia when I rewatch the movie. I still have that same feeling of when I watched it for the first time in that second grade classroom after school with like the other 9 kids whose parents didn't care. No, I'm just kidding. But no, my dad cared. He was just working. But nobody else was watching it except for me and the lady who put it on. All the other kids were with their Nintendo SPs.
They were missing out.
And I was just sitting there and I was like, this is the greatest movie. This is one of the greatest movies.
So
So
good.
It's so good.
I've also got a first watch of this movie. My dad had picked it up because he was just like, it was my dad's weekend. He was like, oh yeah, I'll just grab a movie or whatever for like to put on while the kids are over. And so I'm over at my dad's house and I am violently sick. And so my dad and sister ended up going out and they
Sorry, I just pictured you be like, I have a cold, and you just stab your sister.
I'm violently sick.
Yeah, that's what I pictured. Just like you're committing battery on people, and you're like, I have a flu.
So my dad and my sister ended up going out and they were like going to do something else that my dad already had planned to do with us. But so I was staying home and I just turned on Nightmare Before Christmas. And I remember absolutely falling in love, with exception to one character.
Is it Boogie, and why?
It's
No.
not.
It's
Because I
not
was weirded
Boogie.
out by Boogie, but I still liked him.
No, I loved Boogie.
The
Most of
bugs?
the character designs, oh my god, just like all of the character designs were just hit, and they made the characters feel like amazing and unique and so much fun visually to look at. They were upsetting, but they were still fun. The fat child with the sewn shut eyes and like just the way, like, and then his mom picks him up and she's in the moo and she's all grotesque too. Like, it just, something viscerally about that was just the sewn shut eyes, and you can like see where like the thread like tucks into the eye because it's clay and it's like it's divoted. It just it upset me so much. I was loving the movie throughout every single scene. As soon as that character came on, every single time I'm like, nope, and I'm not.
That's the one that fucked with you. How do
It's
you
the-
still feel that
wild.
way?
I will still occasionally, like, when
Still
that
makes
character,
you uncomfortable?
I'll see that character and I'm like, just something about it. It fucks me up at a deep emotional level.
You're just anti-fat people.
Yeah, this is where I come out
awful.
like I hate fat people. Like, if you didn't know, like, check my social media bio. I'm actually Andrew Tate.
Would you stop?
No.
Oh my god, no.
But
so
no,
the most scariest thing for me as a kid, like, I don't know. I think I was just messed up, and nothing really scared me that much, except for the fact that Oogie Boogie was made out of bugs. A little spoiler, but not too spoily. I just don't like
If you
bugs, and that freaks
Literally,
me out.
if you don't, fuck the spoilers. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, you're a fool.
What are you doing?
It's
Yeah.
literally a classic.
How have you slept on this?
Also,
Why are you watching this review if you haven't seen? Go watch the movie.
rating time 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of
always
10.
10 out of 10.
This is where Logan comes in. 7.
No. Oh, dude, that's tough. I think for me it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I will rewatch this movie
Yeah.
so many times.
I
love it.
I do have issues with it though.
Do I think it could have been written a little better at times? Yeah.
I
but-
I
feel-
wish
10 out
like
of 10.
Sally and Jack's relationship had more
yeah,
development.
that's
but-
what I'm saying. I just feel
Yeah.
like every character design's cool, but it does kind of feel like for the either whether it be the sake of pacing or the sake of cost, it does feel like there's certain characters that are a little underdeveloped. That it's not even that I'm like they're bad characters. I just wanted more time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the big things that the internet needs of this. They're so desperate for more content
Yeah.
because they just want more character development with these people.
I don't foresee this getting more
no.
content.
Well,
I
I
don't-
mean, people grasp onto what
it's-
already exists. You know,
Yeah.
novelization stuff.
I was gonna
and-
say I know there's some books out. I know Sally
Kingdom
has
Hearts
a book
2.
yeah,
soon.
the Pumpkin Queen.
Yeah, that
book,
just came out recently. I'll probably read that because
yeah.
I love The Night Before Christmas. But I think this should just stay a singular
Which I know
movie.
that the Pumpkin Queen kind of like set some people off because it's basically like the transformation of Sally going from one abusive relationship, the doctor or the professor, to another one, and egomaniac Jack like just run. Like I think that's the premise of the book, so I know that
Do
some
you
people
know?
are
Have
upset.
you read the book?
I've not
He's
read the
not
book
read
yet.
the book, so
I've not
He's
read the
just,
book
he's
yet.
just stalking
I
right
just
out of his
know
anus.
that I have seen people on the internet upset about
I've
it.
also seen people on the internet who love it. It's
I've
on,
also
like,
seen
the book
people on
talk,
the internet
you
who
know?
are upset about everything.
Yeah.
So
I just
people are mad on the internet. Hot take.
You talked about the further development of content. I don't think I really want that either. I don't want any sort of delve. The one thing I would want though is it'd be really great as a live performance show. Maybe a Broadway.
Yes.
Because Beetlejuice has such a great treatment on Broadway right now.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I really feel like this kind of has the elements where it could be a great stage show. And then through a stage show,
I do have
I'd
one
want them to add more
hot
stuff.
take. I do have one hot take.
Yeah.
So if you've been to Disney World, Disneyland, they did Jack so poorly as like a character design. It was really sad. So Disney, if you do make this into Broadway, like work on the designing of Jack. He just looks off.
I think
I'm
that
sure it'll be fine.
I'll find an image.
I
and
gotta
I'll put it up.
imagine
Bob
that they would
Chapek
just
is back in charge, right?
No,
So we're-
no. Bob Chapek got fired, and
He did.
Bob Iger's back in charge.
that's what it is.
You know,
yeah.
the Bobs.
Yeah, those
Bobs.
No, the
One of the
bad
Bobs
bad
did the
Bob's
Bobs.
gone, good Bob's back.
Let's go.
But yeah, I'll find an image of that Jack and I'll put it up on the screen.
I would
Probably
think
now.
that they would just get a tall performer and paint him white
it's
for
weird.
not for Disney, but for the live show.
Yeah, that would be fine. But
Um,
Disney, work on your Jack design.
And get like big stars in it in that opening. Get some, like, for instance, people who have been constantly asked to portray Sally would be like an Amy Lee type, right? Like an
Yeah.
Evanescence to do it, because she's always wanted to do stage
And
performances.
the songs from the movie are great, but for this hypothetical Broadway,
Yeah.
put in some new songs.
That's what I'm saying. Add more content there.
Yeah.
Add more scenes. Add more
Just like-
songs.
Like with Beetlejuice, where they
added
they
stuff. Yeah.
changed it
have
up a little
it
bit.
be
Like
from a
let it.
different character perspective.
Yeah.
Have it be Oogie Boogie Show or like somebody else, the mayor. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'd still want it to. I think I would want a stage show focused more around Sally.
yeah, sounds.
Either
Because
Sally or Jack.
I
yeah.
think that she also has the strongest
I'm just saying,
songs
like,
in the movie.
yeah, we've seen Jack. That this is his movie. Like Broadway
Yeah.
would be different.
Yeah,
Again,
And her perspective will be more interesting because we get a little bit of her backstory from the movie, but really like kind of dig into like her origin more could be cool. And like Jack isn't actually, like, as far as the main character goes, he doesn't have as much depth as you might want,
yeah.
even though he's a cool character. And I feel like trying to elaborate on him is kind of trying to, like, you know, bottle fire. It's like not like the reason why he works is how sporadic and unpredictable he can be. But at the end of the day,
Hey,
you
it
kind of
reminds
vibe
me
with
of
the fact
somebody
and
I
think he's a
know.
good guy.
What? Do we want to jump into the spoilers? proper?
Spoilers.
I will
whatever.
say real quick, Broadway. If you take our idea, we could work on the script. You know?
Oh, like Lacey
she's always going for a
she's vying
job.
I
for
am.
scripts. She's just like hey,
if
I'm just
somebody
looking
wants
for.
to hire me
I'm
to
just
do the
looking
thing
for a
that I
writing
said,
credit.
hello, we're here.
In this situation, wouldn't it be the
me.
thing that I said?
Yeah, it would be.
If you guys want to hire Lacey to do the thing that I said,
just hire all three.
yeah,
Hire Freddie
hire
too,
both
hire
of
Flair.
us. Hire both of us.
I'll take just a writing credit. I don't need to actually be hired.
He can be there.
I'm just saying, we came up with it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, hire us.
I'm
Just
sure
kidding.
somebody else has pitched it before, but yeah, it's a
Probably.
fucking cool idea. I think they should, because if you try to elaborate too much on these characters, you lose some of that magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, guys.
All right, we'll be right back with, I guess, more talk.
Let's go.
And we are back.
I feel like I'm self-conscious. I keep like I don't want to upstage Sally, but I also want to sit comfortably.
And I just like cover my face the whole time. Just takes over the podcast. He's
But
so,
guys, the Squishmallows are so cute. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's pretty cute.
I love them.
They're pretty cute. Not sponsored.
Nope. But if you want to, I will
Does Squishmallows
gladly.
Literally-
sponsor people.
I'm sure that there's
I
some,
wish.
maybe not Squishmallows, but there's some super obscure, horrific brand out there that does YouTube sponsors.
if you give us soft things, we'll talk about
Squishmallows.
you.
Give
If
us-
you give us anything,
Plus,
we'll
you
talk
give us
about
hard things, we'll definitely talk about it.
This is
me some-
for Squishmallows. If you want to sponsor us, please, and then make characters for all the movies, and we'll talk
Let's
about the
do it,
movies.
yeah.
Just saying.
Sounds like a deal to me. Anyway, guys, what do you guys want to talk about with The Nightmare Before Christmas? The thing is like you guys, I feel like you guys are actually, this is a case where you guys are definitely bigger fans than me.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not a big fan. I watch a lot of movies, and I feel like this is very much like a thing you're really into.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm
you
curious.
don't say.
I'm curious as to elements that you wanted to talk about.
We've got a bunch of pop figurines. We got a bunch of Squishmallows. We got a lot of.
I love it. I enjoy claymation movies to begin with. Just that artistic aspect.
Yeah,
brought
you
to
defended
life.
the Freeze Miser and all
I
that
did.
shit.
I just love them. I think they're timeless.
As a little aside, when right when we were talking about like, oh, we'll go ahead, we'll do this for the pod. I watched Nightmare Before Christmas after Lacey had fallen asleep on the couch, and she turned to me and she's like, "You watched without me? How will I
I've
know
seen
what
this
to
movie like 100 times.
She had
I
seen
know.
it like the weekend before. Her
Yeah,
and her
yeah.
sister were hanging out and just watching this movie.
I just have it playing all the time. But another thing with
You're
the
like, I would like to
claymation-
see something strange. Just like crying.
Yeah. But with the claymation aspect, I feel like that really just fits me as a person because I was an art minor. And then my major was like film and cinematography. And so it's like my two loves combined.
What do you think of all the bad rock covers of the songs from this movie?
Oh my
The
god.
Marilyn Mansons to the Fallout Boys to the Panic at the Discos.
Danny Elfman is top tier. I'm sorry.
Of course.
I think Blink
You can get that
has
from
a
fucking
whole-
Batman, let alone
Yeah, I
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm such a nerd that I'll just listen to Danny Elfman scores.
Dude, they're so good.
They
Michael
are.
Giacchino is the Danny Elfman of this generation.
I
Hot take.
will say if it had been
Music nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about.
if it had been anybody else who was like making the music, I don't think it would have been as successful.
No.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have
Definitely
fit as well.
not.
It definitely feels like a Disney movie in that aspect where it's like kind of
The soundtrack is
musically.
just-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's so like everything's so swelling. Like everything's building.
I think-
even in the more dour, sadder aspects of some songs, there's this like orchestral movement happening, and it's because
Yeah.
it's an Elfman. It's an Elfman movie,
it
so to
is.
speak.
And
He always brings that energy where it's like, wow, this is a whole universe being birthed in front of us. Like I feel everything going on here.
and for the time that it was made, like the animation and stuff, it still looks fantastic.
It's
today.
timeless. It's timeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that like always surprises me about this movie, how well the pacing feels. Like
It's almost too quick for me.
not a lot happens, but it feels like so much happens because there's so many little bits that happen so quickly that it just builds up this whole world. Like I think probably one of the funniest things that I think about on a regular basis is Jack going through and experimenting on all of the Christmas stuff, and he's got a line where he's like, "Interesting. But what does it mean?" Like, I just love the idea of somebody experimenting. They're like, I'm going to do this experiment and this is going to happen. But why, though?
And the expressions.
It's funnier to imagine that. Sorry to get dirty with such a beautiful film. It's funnier to imagine that in sexual ways.
Yeah.
Like you try a finger in the butt for the first time and you're just like, interesting. But what does it mean? Like I love that meme set. I know that that's like already a thing. Like this isn't a fresh take, but that is a really good meme set where it's like, what does it mean?
Oh, dude.
He's just such a meme factory, that man.
And
With his tall ass legs and arms.
I think probably one of my favorite things, we were watching it one day and I just caught like a line that I'd heard a million times, but I had never actually listened to it, where he's like, "Good work, Bone Daddy." And
Yeah.
I was like, it made me giggle, and I'm like, "Hey baby, why don't you ever call me Bone Daddy?"
Daddy.
And she's
Oh,
like
oh my god.
a legitimate look of horror. She's like, "Do you want me to call you Bone Daddy?
It's like, you
And I'm
don't
like-
want that, do you?
I'm like, no. What the fuck are you talking?
You're the one who brought it up, dude.
Dude,
The way
it
you
just-
said it,
She's
I'm
just
like,
trying
what?
to be accommodating. That's all.
What?
It's called being a good partner. Anyway, you were gonna say something before we rudely interrupted
The characters, their expressions were just so perfect. They were over the top. They fit everything. I loved it. I will say another thing. I think why I enjoy this movie so much. When I was watching that VHS copy, it showed special behind the scenes right
Yes.
after the movie was done.
you. Physical media is the best.
Yes, and as a kid, I watched it.
Yeah.
I
and
love those
it
special
just-
features.
It made me love like the process of movie making from such a young age, and maybe that's why I, went in and studied it.
There's a great Netflix show that
I've
it's
seen
the
it.
movies that made us.
I've watched
They have an
this.
episode about Nightmare Before Christmas. I recommend people watch that if they're super into
One
it.
thing that sticks with me from that VHS copy was like all the different faces they made for
I love
Jack.
when they open that box and it's just covered in little Jack heads.
Like the people who made this movie worked so hard on it, and it definitely shows.
And what's crazy is like on initial release,
It did
not a
terrible,
success.
yeah.
Not a success at all. In fact,
I think it was they were talking about in the movies that made us. They were talking about how like two of the producers. I can't remember if it was actually Johnny Depp. Jesus Christ.
Johnny Depp.
Just thinking about the other
Playing
part
Boogie
of
Oogie.
Tim Burton. But Tim Burton and somebody from Disney corporate, I think, were in Japan, and they stumbled upon a store that was filled with Nightmare Before Christmas merch, and they were like, "Oh, people are obsessed with this." And that's when Disney started to like re-promote it again, because it happened in like early 2000s.
Well, I feel
they
like
ran
this
across
was
it
such
and-
a risk for Disney at the time. They had
Absolutely.
not put out really anything this dark except for maybe the Black Cauldron.
People also tend to forget that Disney distanced itself from Nightmare so much that
Yeah.
in the early days of syndication, they gave it to other networks to
They
play.
did.
It wasn't
Was
even
it
on Disney.
Touchstone?
Wasn't even on-
It was Touchstone, and
thought
then
it was.
also it premiered on Cartoon Network on television,
Yeah.
and not Disney Channel.
And then now Disney stamps
Disney's
that
like,
stuff on
Disney's
everything.
like,
art.
Disney's
Shit.
like, Sally's a Disney princess.
Yeah.
Like that's
In
literally
case
their
you were
mentality
wondering.
about it.
Yeah.
Which good for them. I'm just saying that was not like
That wasn't
that
always
isn't the
the
redheaded
case.
stepchild of the fucking Disney canon.
Yeah, it was Disney was like, because that was like one of the things that like it where it is now. It's so wild to think that like it hasn't always been this icon, because they had to go to a little shop in Japan and see that it was covered in merch, and they were like, we didn't even make most of that merch. That's just stuff that people made because they're obsessed with this movie. And they were like, oh, we need to capitalize on this shit. And it's like, that's so crazy to think that it just like festered in cult classic until they were like, no, it's always been a classic, and you can't say that it wasn't because we're Disney and we fucking own you.
Well, it has elevated since to becoming like one of, I mean, like literally the most merchandised franchise
Yeah.
of all time. Maybe
I don't
maybe
know, it's
Star
a lot.
Wars beats it by like.
I'd be surprised.
Star
No,
Wars is
Star Wars
fucking
is
huge.
huge.
But merchandising wise,
Star Wars is huge.
I always had
Hey,
lightsabers.
Yeah,
I guess, but
exactly.
yeah,
How many fucking Star Wars shirts have you seen, my guy? Like it's everywhere.
Tons.
yeah.
Bro, you were in the last episode. You were
I
wearing
was
Star
wearing
Wars
it.
merch for
I
fuck's
did,
sake.
yeah, I did that.
I think Star Wars, maybe Marvel now, but like as far as like very niche one film properties,
Yeah.
I mean that's got to be like it's like Nightmare Before Christmas, and then right under it, if you're like a weird hipster, Leon the Professional. Like there's not that many things that have tons
I
and tons of
have no
merch.
fucking clue what that is.
Oh boy, the comments are about to eat you alive.
Good.
Okay, we're gonna roll right past that and act like that didn't happen. But no, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's such a cultural like. It was such a cultural phenomenon when it reemerged with all this merchandise, like with the hot topics. You know, like
Yeah.
you instantly identify Nightmare Before Christmas now with a hot topic.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't ever walk in there without getting like a fingerless glove with fucking Jack's
The
face on it. You
stitches
know,
Like the
Or-
late 2000s, early 2010s, this was the thing.
it came back in a
Yeah.
big bad way.
Probably
And,
because of our generation's like,
like,
we love this.
yeah, we
Yeah.
grew up watching that shit, and it
Yeah.
was dope as hell. Same thing with Invader Zim. It was like Invader
Yeah.
Zim got
Yeah.
canceled or whatever the reason was
and
they ended
then
it.
the merch, Hot Topics, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll take this.
Yep, exactly.
People love this.
Like, oh, Gur's ridiculous and Scene Girls will blow it the fuck up. Put it on the shelf.
Yeah, and like, Blink 182 helped
We'll do
elevate
a
that.
whole fucking album for
they
it.
did a whole like alternative album for
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, well, and
I think
also
it's
you gotta
Sally's song
consider.
from that album
Well,
actually slaps pretty hard.
I mean, I'm more talking about "Miss You" being the most relevant lyrics. We can be like Jack and Sally.
Yeah.
If you, I mean,
Yeah.
like that has elevated it even further because
Yeah.
there are so many Blink fans that then went and found
Yeah.
A Nightmare Before Christmas based on that. There are so many references to it in pop culture, and they kind of are like this unofficial, like the emo couple. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like they kind of identify.
I
as
couldn't
that
think of a more
alternative.
iconic emo couple.
It's got to be the one, right?
Yeah.
Like it is the one,
like,
which is
Toxic
crazy because
people
the
would be
movie's
like-
hardly about them.
yeah,
being a
toxic
couple.
people would be like Joker and Harley, and it's like that's not that relationship. But this one is like the actual proper emo couple.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Blink 182 called it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They made it official when they put them in what their most is I Miss You, like one of their most popular songs, top
It's
5 easily.
easily
And then
bare minimum the most memed on.
same with Night Before Christmas is like covers. Like there just
Yeah.
are endless amounts of covers, and I think it's that perfect blend of great style mixed with pretty great music that is also influenceable in its own manner. I mean, like This Is Halloween, the opening song of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even turn on. There
Like,
was a
if
point
you-
when Disney
Dun,
reclaimed
dun,
it.
dun, dun,
Every
dun, dun,
Halloween,
dun.
that music video just plays
Yeah.
on the commercial breaks. Once they reclaimed that IP for themselves again, they plastered it all over the fucking walls.
I
It's
will
wild.
say I love this movie so much, but I do wish there was just a little bit more character development. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
It's
enjoy the
too much of a.
pacing.
I think the
of the
pace is too
film.
quick. I think it needed a little bit more, especially with Sally and Jack in particular.
Oh, one of my characters that I do love that I thought they did so well in such a limited time is the mayor. His
Yes.
double-sided face.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
that's not a politician, I don't know what is.
And also he is just like a fun little interesting character, like a nice side
is.
character.
Which,
Yes.
like, can we talk about, like, the adult humor and everything that is baked into this? Because it's like, I'm only an elected official. I can't do anything on my own. Like, there's so many little things that it's like, kids aren't gonna get
No.
that. But it's specifically set up to be like, it's like, these are things meant to be for adults.
I can't remember her name, but the one who basically rewrote Sally. Thank you. I know she
Oh,
worked on the
she
script.
got like no credit
She
too.
didn't.
Holy
Like,
shit!
Henry Selick got no credit. She got
Even less than no credit.
She
She got
was-
less
The
than
fact-
no credit.
I
fact that
can't
Tim-
remember her name, but it was on like the movies that made us. She was a part of that, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, I had no idea you worked on this film."
Or who's the singer guy who does the Jack stuff? Oh God, what is his name?
Danny Elfman did some of this
But
singing
the
parts,
other-
but
the other
dude
dude.
who voiced Jack
Yes.
is somebody else.
Yeah, and the dude who yes, exactly. The dude who voiced Jack, like when that now that movie has like come to prominence, you don't even really see like any sort of want from him at conventions. I don't know if he's dead or not, but it's weird that like Danny Elfman is more described as Jack.
Can you look up, Zane, while you're looking up that person? Can you look up who played Jack?
Yeah, because the thing is like I think when everybody says who voices Jack, they think it's just Danny Elfman, but
No,
it's
he
not.
just does the singing.
He just does,
parts.
and the thing is, they blend really well.
They do. It works
and-
so well.
So you kind of believe it, but there's actually a totally different voice
So-
actor.
Danny Elfman, I think, did all the singing for
Yeah, we
Jack,
just said
and
that.
then Chris Sarandon.
Yeah, when has he ever been at a convention or mentioned ever?
I don't know.
It's really weird how this movie has so much pop cultural relevance, and yet there are people who were directly working on it every day who see none of the relevancy from the film. It's just an interesting thing, and it is in large part because originally the film was a failure. You know,
And I also feel like that's movies in general. Like, you don't really know the people behind the scenes who's actually
I disagree.
putting in the work.
You go to a convention circuit now on any movie, you have a pretty good idea of everybody who worked on films. I mean, the chick from Sleepaway Camp has a decent following, and like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, the animators, the writers.
oh no,
and
I
stuff
know,
Like that.
but when I'm talking about direct talent, that was
yeah,
like
the voice.
the
yeah.
voice or whatever it may
You
be.
do get
like,
a lot of that at conventions.
and you don't with this movie, and I
Yeah.
always found that kind of peculiar and strange. But it's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm really happy with the film, and I love the fact that it's so pop culturally relevant, and that it probably is always going to be this way. I think it's gotten to the point now where it's just going to be one of those movies that's shown to generations after generations. Like, it is officially a classic.
It is. You can watch it any time of year, but it's best to start it like right before Halloween and continue all the way to Christmas. That's how I do it.
I think it's Carolyn Thompson is the writer that we're looking for.
Maybe. If you watch
Yeah.
the
That
movies Who
sounds
Made
right.
Us,
Yeah.
it'll tell you for sure.
'Cause she's also
who
worked
did a
on
lot
a
of
bunch of
stuff.
That
other-
looks like the girl too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
woman.
Thank you for being a part of films.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
And voicing,
Saved
this
this
for ladies.
wonderful character from being a shitty femme fatale type.
Yeah. Thank
Like,
you.
just like what a. Oh my God, just.
Yeah,
I cannot-
You're fantastic.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about with the movie?
I'm trying to.
It's hard because
I
it's
love
such
it
a
all. I
it's
love
such
it
a
all.
big deal.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about the final fight scene between Boogie and Jack? Because people have differing opinions on that whole
I
scene.
think that it's a lot. I think it really goes to just show how well like Jack keeps a lid on the town. Like, yeah, we spend most of the time watching Jack be kind of like this crazy eccentric, and he's like, I'm all excited about Christmas right
But
now.
really, he's just curious about life.
Yeah, he's
even
just
though
he's
dead.
trying to experience life. But it's like when he has to lock shit down and really be the guy in charge, he locks shit down. He takes care of business. He handles his shit.
every day, taking care of business every way. But no, genuinely, like, that is kind of a cool moment. That's kind of what my opinion was of it always. People like to say that, like, oh, they threw in that structure at the end to, like, have a big final moment, but I don't get that vibe.
I feel
it
like
more
the
feels like
idea of like a big final moment. Sorry.
it more feels, I'm going to get my point out, then you can talk. It more feels like a grounding idea, like you said, where it's really the representation that the rest of the movie doesn't give us, which is like Jack is the guy. He is the soothsayer of the town. He is the motherfucker in charge. And we don't get a lot of that throughout the rest of the film. You get it a little bit in the beginning where they're like, that was great, folks, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about how they did the song.
But that's only done through exposition, yeah.
Yeah, and with this, it's like you're seeing it in real time, him taking care of business every day.
Mm-hmm.
In every
And that's
way.
I feel like that criticism is more more because of modern
Yeah,
movies,
it's so like
'cause it's like-
backtracked.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like now things are very much like, oh, we've got to give it our final fight scene.
we need
like,
the third.
gotta-
We need the 3-act structure.
Yeah, but it's like it wasn't. I don't feel like this doesn't feel like it was done for that. It feels like that grounding.
I enjoy both the Oogie Boogie kind of finale scene and like the finale with the Christmas delivery and everything like that. And I
Yeah.
feel like at the end, it's just like, be proud of where you came from and like what you do and how you do it, because not everybody can do the things like you do. Jack's good at Halloween, and that's great.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus is good at Christmas. So, and they can
In
both
short,
exist.
kids, learn your niche.
Yeah,
Reviewing films, here we are.
But
Here he is, the king of niche, the queen of not being a terrible female character in the
Yeah.
90s. I don't
So-
know. Go ahead.
real quick, what is everybody's favorite song?
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, all of it. I don't think I have a per se favorite.
What is the one that like when it
I'm
comes
bad at
on?
remembering the names right now. It's like you put me on the spot, and now the names
I like
have left
I'll
my
go
Sally's
ahead.
song.
I'll go
I
ahead.
like Sally's song. What's
This
the
is
one?
Halloween.
What's the one where he's in the park? and he's walking with his little doggy, and he's
I
like,
think
Oh.
it's Jack's Lament. Is
yeah,
that what it's
I
called?
love that one.
Yeah.
I think that's
Take
such
off
an
your
awesome
head.
swell, and like it just has such a cool atmosphere
And
to it.
recite Shakespearean quotations.
Stations.
Yeah, I love that
I
song.
love Lock, Shock, and Barrel song.
Yeah.
Where they're just going through and because that's the one. Like, there's so many.
Dude,
of
that's
them.
my least favorite song.
It's the
I'm not
one-
gonna lie to you. I still
it's-
like it, but
It
Funny
just,
that's your favorite.
It feels fun. It feels like we're gonna make some chaos. We're
I
gonna
feel
be
like when
a
you were a
little
kid,
bit of an antagonist.
you're a Bart
Like,
Simpson fan. You like the
Lock, Shock, and
you're
Barrel.
a little shithead. I'm getting that vibe.
I mean, I was, yeah. That's,
you liked watching
that's
other little
Cap.
shitheads. Little Dennis the Menace over here.
But yeah, no, I love that the way that the three of them are playing off each other, like all of them just like hitting, and it's a lot of fun. They're just going through and they're like, oh, we were given this task, but we're gonna be little shits about it. And it's like, oh, it cuts me up every single time that it plays. There's obviously the iconics like This Is Halloween and Sally Song, all the other stuff.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
one of the ones that slept on is What's This? Like I kind of
What's
like
this?
it.
What's this?
I like it because it's like it's a more innocent song in the
Yeah.
overall film, but also it's like the moment where you learn about that genuine curiosity that kind of drives
Yeah.
Jack throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
You know?
Another one that always gets slept on, Something's Wrong with Jack. Where basically the whole town writes a diss track about Jack. They're like, something's wrong with Jack, something's wrong
Oh
with Jack.
man, dude! If there's ever,
Bro, they're
if you're a
legit
rapper
just, like,
out there and
talking
you have a diss track on a dude named Jack,
Oh,
someone
bro,
needs to
something's
sample
wrong
some
with Jack,
shit.
Something's wrong with Jack.
Yo, what I did was that moment. That'd be so
Something's
good.
wrong with Jack. Something's wrong with Jack. Like, just fucking
Oh,
go
dude,
hard.
that'd be
Oh,
so good.
Please,
shit-
fucking, if somebody's
here's
already done
me-
it,
me
put it in the
taking-
comments. I want to know about this because
Me-
that would go so hard.
Me taking notes and trying to think of any Jack we could diss.
Yeah.
Jacksepticeye, I'm coming for you, bitch.
Aw, I love Jackaboy.
Jackaboy is the softest little soy boy
he's
out
so
there.
That's why we
There's
gotta go after him.
Yeah, he's been too perfect for too long.
Get out of here with your
Bro,
green hair. and your-
Jacksepticeye, if you want to come make a rap song with us, let us know.
It won't be
please.
good.
I love the desperate attempts for any outreach. Like Jacksepticeye, if you're out, even if it's Markiplier, please, sir, please.
I will cry if it's Markiplier.
But, like
Even I know the game. Like nobody knows about Game Grumps anymore, but even you guys, sure.
oh, dude, I would love to do. I think Ninja Sex Party would make a fucking ridiculous.
Heck yeah. And then we can get Mark and Jack to be on it.
Oh my God, this has gone off the rails.
I'm sorry.
We want to make
but
our
yes,
own
please.
remake album of all of the Nightmare
I just
Before
want
Christmas songs.
I just want to
But
sample.
they won't be good.
I literally just want to sample Something's Wrong with Jack and put
yeah.
it in a good diss track. That's all I meant.
Oh, it'd be
Make
so
it about
good.
Jack Harlow. Even I don't give a fuck.
We s-
I don't give a fuck who you make it about. That's just a great thing to sample for a diss
Oh my
track.
god.
we met Jack Harlow
You sang
at the.
We
hookah bar.
did meet Jack. Our diss track is coming. We actually know you, so we actually have grounds to diss you.
Barely.
He didn't pay, motherfucker. That's huge grounds. He's a cheap ass, bro. Where's some of that glamorous money? Pay us back for our smoke, you
It was
bitch.
before he was
It was-
famous.
we were at the hookah bar and
probably
he
We
doesn't
showed him how to blow bubbles.
he showed us his.
Oh, that's right.
like-
He showed us how to blow bubbles.
Yeah.
Maybe that was payment. You know, fuck that. It wasn't. Blowing bubbles is not the equivalent
Jack
exchange
Harlow,
for film.
just let us know if you want to hit up Gypsies. Let us know.
Yeah, dude. I think it was actually the one next to it that time, but
Probably.
Like this-
All I know is Gypsies made it into Incredibly Vile and or what is it?
Shockingly Vile
Shockingly
and not
Vile and
that great.
Incredible Close.
shockingly vile and shouldn't have been made because of how vile. Anyway, we've completely gone off the rails at this point. I think we should just move on with our lives right now. Obviously, we love the movie. It's a great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, what the fuck are you doing? Go watch it.
all the extras for it too.
Yeah.
It's a great way to learn about how movies are made
Yeah, I mean, it's such
and
a
how
cool.
the directors disappear. Just on this one.
I mean, to be honest with you though, with that situation, I think Tim Burton could own it and be like, listen, like I would forgive it if he just came out and was like, hey, I barely anything to do with this movie, but he kind of lives in the meme, and he's like, "Yes, my masterpiece."
Just watch the movies that made us, and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's not Tim Burton's movie, not really. There's gonna be some Tim Burton stands, and they're like, "Don't talk about Tim. He's dark and
We
he's
love
an
Tim
artist."
Burton,
We do.
But yeah,
Do we?
I mean, I'm about
All right,
some of his movies.
let's take a pause here. Name 3 movies you like by Tim Burton.
Corpse Bride.
Did he direct that one? Because I know he was a part of it.
Edward Scissorhands.
Okay, I hate Edward Scissorhands.
Really?
Hot
I
take.
don't much care for Edward Scissorhands.
I think it's really bad. Besides the fact that Winona Ryder is a fucking smoke show in it.
Yeah.
I like Edward Scissorhands.
I don't like that movie. I like Big Eyes, which a lot of people didn't even see. It is nothing like the rest of his films.
Did he do
Nine-
Sweeney Todd?
I liked Ed Wood.
Did he do Sweeney Todd,
And-
or is it just a
I'm not sure. Maybe
Johnny
he,
Depp?
maybe he did do Sweeney Todd. That's
It's
a
a
good question.
dark Johnny Depp.
is
So I mean,
9
Is
is Tim
Sweeney-
Burton, right?
Sweeney-
no,
Todd-
9 was done by an independent.
But everybody
person.
thinks it's fucking his.
It's
because
not.
he produced it. That's the
He
problem.
produced it, but it wasn't like just some random person who come up with the concept,
Guys,
won awards.
Tim
and
Burton
made
did
a
not
movie.
direct 9, and Jordan
No.
Peele did not direct Candyman.
Also-
These are the facts.
Tim Burton didn't do Coraline either. That's Henry Selick. Make sure you know his name. It's Henry
Damn.
Selick.
Beetlejuice.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
Beetlejuice is
Beetlejuice.
all right. Yeah.
Did he do Sweeney Todd?
Did he direct Sweeney Todd? Because that's actually a good question.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah. I
Okay,
love
so
Sweeney
then
Todd.
for me, it's Big Eyes, Sweeney Todd, Ed Wood. Those are the movies I really like by him, and I do like Beetlejuice. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
But do we remember the Batman movie that he was doing?
See, but
well,
this-
yeah, I mean, yeah, we actually do, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
This shows.
I actually
him,
think Batman Returns. Hot take is horrible.
Wait a second, because it shows
But the first
9
Batman's good.
in his.
He
let me
produced
check,
it. He did not direct
Let me check
it.
Sweeney Todd.
Or it
yeah,
may have been-
director Tim Burton on Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice was him too.
Yeah.
I'm certain of that.
But anyway, yes, I like Tim Burton's ideas. I just wish
hiccuped.
he would have been here for this movie when it was happening.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it, because his name is literally stamped on the movie. I wish he would have been there a little
He
more.
just reminded me. Do you guys remember James and the Giant Peach? I'd love
Yes,
to talk about
I
that
love
movie.
that movie.
I haven't thought
like
about
that
it in
ladybug
years.
From it, she's
What
so
are some
cute.
of the What are some of the movies that you like? Some of those childhood niche movies that you guys would like to see us review?
Honestly,
Because there's some of those that just get locked away in the back of my
Hot
brain that
take.
I forget
You know
about.
what? Let's take a quick break and then let's come back and talk about some of them because I feel like there's not really a good game for us to do in this scenario. Let's come back.
Talk
if you
about-
guys still want to hear us talk about some childhood movies and stuff like that, come right back. Obviously, I just want to say this. If you guys want an in-depth review of Nightmare Before Christmas, that isn't really possible. Because everybody's seen the movie and everything it can be acknowledged about it has been acknowledged. But not only that, the reason for the movie is not exactly its complexity and plot.
It's the cultural impact.
It's the cultural impact, and it's the definition of a vibe movie.
Yeah.
It has a great pace, fun characters, amazing just like design and world.
it's just really our thoughts and opinions on it.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be able to get me to say something like, I don't know, I think Jack made the wrong decision when he decided to slap around Boogie
But
Oogie.
that's like any of our episodes. It's just friends who enjoy movies who talk
Sure,
about stuff.
sure, but in other reviews we can get more like specific. But with this, it's just
It's been talked about so much
It's
already.
like,
vibes.
what the fuck can we say about it?
Yeah.
It's literally so much bigger
my
than us.
experience when
No,
I got
I-
it. I'm kidding.
No, I know, but in
my
the sense
VHS
of like,
saw that.
like
3 and
reviewing
4.
it, like I like
Mommy
this
and
part
Daddy
and
are
not this
fighting.
part.
I'm just joking.
But I'm just saying, for the people out there who are expecting more of like, I liked this and not this, this movie's so much bigger than us.
This character choice didn't work for me.
Exactly. We would just sound like fucking
Bruh.
idiots doing that. So
Yeah.
we'll be right back to talk more about childhood movies and good stuff like that. All right, Lacey, you had a hot take to take before I took it away.
I do. So we're
So,
talking
take a-
about
Take a shot
Tim
at that take right now.
Burton
Take it away.
films in general. Tim Burton's films in general. And my hot take is James and the Giant Peach is scarier than The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Fuck yes, it is.
Oh yeah, there's not really a hot take at all.
Absolutely.
I didn't know.
That's
But
just
as a
terrifying.
child,
Yeah, fuck me up.
James and the Giant Peach scared me more than The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know why.
Like-
the bugs get me.
Yeah.
The ladybug was very cute. The worm freaked me out.
When they eat,
Oh,
there's something gross about the wetness.
but I still
like, sticks in
enjoyed
your
the
head.
movie.
No, it's still good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's definitely a creepier vibe for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I did he direct Corpse Bride? Did you find that out?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, he did.
He did for sure,
I
you
know.
know.
Yeah, he didn't do 9, which I
No.
loved.
It was
9.
an independent person.
You loved 9.
I really enjoy it. It was
I did too.
it was a great
I like
world
it.
building.
God, I thought that movie was so fucking boring.
I love it.
Oh my God, I watched it multiple times trying to give it a chance. Like I really get because everybody loved it so much.
He co-directed it. Tim Burton and Mike Johnson
Yeah.
did Corpse Bride.
I liked Corpse Bride fine. I thought it
liked
was
it.
I thought it was decent.
It's not as strong as The Night Before Christmas, but
No.
I liked it.
I don't think it's like trying
feel
to be
like
the
it-
same thing.
Yeah.
And I liked the. To be honest with you, somebody made a really stupid edit that I love, and if you can find it on the internet, it's great. Somebody took all the music out of it and replaced it with Avenged Sevenfold songs, and oddly enough, it's really good.
Corpse Bride?
Yeah,
Bro.
they replaced the scene. It was like a fan edit. I saw it on the internet a long time ago. They replaced the one scene where it was like "You're dead, dead, dead," and like the
Yeah.
thing, and they switched it out with "Welcome to the Family" by Avenged Sevenfold.
Bro.
And it fucking worked so well. And when the dude initially died and saw that he was dead, it was like, nightmare! And I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of like this. I don't give a fuck.
I really like that song
Yeah.
from the movie. I mean, it's facts.
Yeah.
We die. We all pass away.
Yeah. No, I mean, the movie's good. It's not as good as Nightmare.
No.
It's not even as good as, well, okay, it's a little better than Frank and Weenie.
I
I have a horrific story with Frank and
I
Weenie.
love Frank and
Okay,
Weenie.
yeah, let's hear this.
I was this is so stupid.
no.
I saw the original one, obviously.
Yes, the black
I-
and white real person one.
I love that movie actually.
too.
Um
It was like a short, wasn't it?
yeah, it was at my local family video.
I think it was a bonus on The Nightmare Before Christmas.
They had a singular disc one as well.
Did they? Wow.
So it was in the free kids movie section, and I definitely saw it and I liked it. And when they said they were making another one, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And my friend, I won't say his name out of respect for him, but I told this story at his wedding, so he knows I'm talking about him. He had this girlfriend at the time, and this girlfriend was like a brand new girlfriend. He hadn't like gone out with her anywhere. They knew each other from school and shit. And old boy, they really tried not to say his name. Old boy didn't have a way to get around, and my dad was essentially the cab service of our friend group. Yeah, you know, he was like that right up until you started driving everybody everywhere.
Exactly.
So, he said, "Hey man, can you go to Frank and Weenie with me so I can meet up with this girl?" I was secretly like, man, that sounds terrible. I don't fucking want to do that at all. And on the inside, I was like, I get to go see Frank and Weenie and no one can judge me. So I went with. And when we got there, the worst thing ever happened. So the girl shows up and she's with her friend. And I guess like the idea was she was going to go with her friend and then her mom was going to leave. But her mom forced herself inside the movie theater because she had suspicions. And then halfway through the movie, the boy forgot.
Ooh.
Really got close there. Zba he thought the girl just straight up ditched him. And when he got up to use the bathroom, he saw the girl there, so he approached her. And then after he had already walked up to them, then he sees the monolithic angry mother, who at that moment discovers who this man is. And there's a huge hubbub about it during the movie and after the movie. And I can't enjoy Frank and Weenie at all.
I love Frank and Weenie. It's a classic take on Frankenstein. And like, who wouldn't want to bring their dog back from the dead? I get it.
I've seen Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
There's shit that I don't fuck with. I get that.
Yeah, you shouldn't, but I mean, like, I get it.
If you can, maybe don't, but like...
I mean, Jack
I've
has
seen
zero.
Archie Afterlife.
And
I've
in
read
the
the
Corpse
comic.
Bride, there's also the dog in that one too.
Have you-
We love animals.
Have you
We love
heard
a dog in
the
a Tim
fan
Burton
theory
movie.
that they're all the same dog?
I
Yeah.
have. They're not. Is my opinion.
Very bold opinion, considering
What
all of them were based on his designs.
Well, yeah, but I
All
mean, I
based
don't
on
think
his
they're all the
dog.
same.
Yeah, they're all based on his dog. Or does that
yeah,
not
but
make
I
them the
mean,
same
like-
dog?
No.
No.
I don't like it.
No, they're their own individual things. They could be based on a real life dog.
They were all based on the same dog.
Yeah, that's fine, but
Thus
they have different
making
owners in the
them
movies. It's
the
not
same dog.
connected.
Thank
It's
you.
not connected besides the fact that it was based off of a real
So
dog.
so John Carpenter's Elvis, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
I haven't seen either one.
No connection. Nothing at all. They're not at all the same person.
What are you saying to me right
Well,
now?
you're saying these.
You're saying that Elvis is Elvis and this
and this dog is this dog.
But no, it's different characters.
But it's Zero and Frankenweenie.
But they're based on the same dog. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I'm overreaching for comedy.
I would say that Frankenweenie and the Corpse Bride dog can't be the same dog because those are two fully separate characters.
individuals, yeah.
And they are both referring to their
And same
childhood
with
dog.
Frankenweenie. It's a different character.
Zero could be either one of those dogs, but those two dogs, bare minimum, separate dogs. In the TBCU.
But let's
the
see.
TBCU.
Yeah.
I love Sweeney Todd. I love the music
The
in that.
tuberculosis
The
cinematic universe.
tuberculosis cinematic universe.
I love
No, Sweeney Todd's great. I think that Johnny
it.
actually brought decent vocal performance to it.
Baby Vecna is in there. Jamie Campbell Bower, love him.
Since we're talking about, I know you really love that guy.
I do.
Any
I'm
chance you get to
sorry.
bring him up?
It scares me every time.
I'm
I know, I'm
happily
just-
married. I'm happily married.
That's
But for
not-
one afternoon,
That's not the issue here. The issue is you like problematic men in cinema.
He has a beautiful singing voice. I'm so sorry.
I'm just scared that I'm problematic and
His
don't know
voice
it.
is fantastic. And
I know that
Sweeney
I'm
Todd,
problematic.
and as Vecna, like the deep dark voice of Vecna, like
well, to be fair, the deep dark voice of Vecna was not him. It was
Yeah, it is.
It
Rob,
is.
No, it's Robert England.
No, it's
No,
him.
he plays the living version, but Robert England voices Vecna.
No,
Yes.
it's him. He did it on a show.
he did it on
He
like
did
a
it on
late
like
night
Jimmy
show.
Kimmel or
Yeah.
whatever. He does the voice
I
himself.
don't care. He has a beautiful voice, regardless
We'll
of
get
who
in.
was that.
I'm fairly certain that the first pass was done by Robert England, but okay.
We'll talk about this
Just
off
Google
camera,
it.
but you're wrong.
Just Google it. It doesn't even matter.
It's fine, but he has a great voice.
But we were talking about Sweeney Todd, and I wanted to bring up the fact that we just like a quick aside with the Sweeney Todd bit. Whenever you bring a person who is not necessarily a singer into a musical, it can go very badly. And I respect the fact that Johnny Depp super killed it.
he did great.
Whereas Russell Crowe, for instance, like Les Mis,
But
was fucking terrible. You
Johnny
know what I
Depp
mean?
was going to do good regardless because he went out west in a band. He was in
yeah,
a band before
but we're
he
talking
started.
about like a theatrical.
The one
setting.
behind the creepy voice is the Vecna actor himself, Jamie Campbell Bower.
Okay.
I told you he has a beautiful voice.
Can you believe it? I honestly thought it might have been some kind of technological magic.
He also had a band, so I mean, like,
Thank you,
kudos to-
Fanside or NetflixLife.com, whatever
It
the
just
fuck
seems
this
so
is.
strange because it's such an obvious pass at Robert England's Freddy. Like it's so
It's-
obvious.
He
and
very
then he's in the
specifically-
show.
He
Like
very
Robert England's in the
specifically
show
went
too.
through and did a whole bunch of like research on different voices.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about it, and I want to say it's a Jimmy Kimmel or a what's one of the other ones? Late night hosts. Come on,
It
guys,
doesn't-
give me fucking
like I give
something.
a fuck what late night
They-
host is.
he was doing it at one thing, and they're like, oh, so how did they make that voice? And he's like, does the voice like? They're like,
Well,
oh,
to be
fuck.
fair, I don't obsess over the man like some people in this room. So
Yeah.
it's only understandable that I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But even more so, it is clearly a pass at the Freddy
Yeah.
voice. Like,
He says that it's based on a lot of other horror things
yeah.
that
And
made him
especially
excited.
with Robert Englund playing a character in the season.
Yeah.
So that's honestly why I thought it was his pass.
Tim Burton and musical aspects go hand in hand. They're great. I like them.
Yeah, I think he's just very theatrical in general.
Yeah, and him and Johnny Depp, big buddies.
Yeah, big
Just-
old buddy friends. Edward Scissorhands.
I
all that
love
good
Edward
stuff.
Scissorhands.
I'm lukewarm on Edward.
I love
Scissorhands.
it.
That's exactly what I was literally about to say.
Yeah.
Same terminology.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's
everything.
not like I'm sitting here like it's the worst movie ever made. It's just not very good. I don't think.
There's just some shit, some privileged white lady is like, come into my house. And then he's like,
very-
you got a hot daughter. and
Wes Anderson
weird.
at the beginning, and then it has that dark Tim Burton twist.
speaking
it's all pretty
of
and
childhood
colorful.
movies, Moonrise Kingdom. Fucking
We're talking
amazing.
about Tim Burton right now.
I thought we were just talking about childhood movies.
Oh.
I think that this is a good ending point anyway.
We're off the rails.
Also, I don't like Mars Attacks. Sorry.
Damn, okay.
Hot take.
No.
No, it's not that hot of a take.
Sorry, Dusty. I don't
Yeah.
either. I'm not super into it.
Semi warm take.
But we'll
Coffee
review it at
that's
some
been
point.
set out for an hour.
We can
take.
talk. I think Mars Attacks is important enough to talk about eventually.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about it eventually. Guys, back to the Christmassy side of things. As per
Oh,
the sweater and all
Happy
that good
Honda
stuff.
Days. Merry Chrysler.
Yeah, no, for sure. The happiest of hollow days. Guys, make sure to write down in the comments, what are you guys excited for this Christmas? What films are you looking forward to watching before Christmas or right on Christmas? What is your tradition? Because everybody's got that Christmas
Yeah.
movie they pull up with, whether it be shitty Tim Allen's The Santa Claus 3 or whether it be Will Ferrell's Elf, whatever the movie is. We want to know down below what your tradition is and what your memories with Nightmare Before Christmas are, because obviously that is a focal point for all three of us, even though we all have totally different experiences with the film in general. So please leave down in the comments below what you thought of Nightmare Before Christmas and your first memories of it. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment and all that good shit. Zane is somewhere. Maybe I
Lower
really
third.
don't know. That lower third is essentially useless. Anyway, Lacey is behind the camera and she has hot takes on Mars Attacks and an obsession with a man who apparently is not Robert Englund. Shout fucking out. Peace out, kids. Much love. Held Captive Christmas. Be sure to stick around for our New Year's episode where we'll blow your freaking mind.
Happy holidays, guys. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.